So I want to try to explain the most elementary basis what happened when someone were captured, taken away from their families, and sent to prison. And here's what normally happen in the United States, in every state in the United States. They will end up here. It's called slave labor camps. And this is where they will eventually end up. But if you have money, let's say you get taken away from the street, you will end up in court. If you're poor, like most people, like a lot of people, you don't have money to have an attorney, and it doesn't matter if you're guilty or innocent, you will be convicted. You will be taken to court, and they will assign public defender. Public defender don't care. Public defender work for the government. So they don't really care that much, and even if they do, they don't have enough resources at any given time in the big cities like Minneapolis, Chicago, New York. So big cities, there are over 10,000 people scheduled for in any given month in the court calendar. The public defender have no more than 2-3 minutes with you in to have a discussion, to try to investigate, to figure out if you're innocent or guilty, or what kind of how to figure out how they can defend you, gather evidence for you, and gather witnesses, and all that, the investigation that normally require. If you have a private attorney, the scope of investigation to prove you're innocent, they don't have the resources, and they don't care what really happened to you. At the end of the day, they get paid either way, so they don't care. So, and you will be convicted. The judge, remember, the judges work with the prosecutor, the judge work with the police. In every court, even the most liberal courts, the most Democrat court, the judges, the prosecutor, the police, they're better off to see you get convicted and sent to this place. And I explain why that is later on. So what happened is, normally you have no attorney. You will be sent to, your case will be trial. The trial, this is where you get convicted, and then you get on. They will get you on the bus. This is like a ride to the actual prison. And then when you come here, when you come to the labor camp, what end up happening is, this is the DOC, Department of Corrections. Technically, you are legally now belong to the Department of Corrections. Department of Correction is run by the state. So right now you are the property. You are property of the state. You are belong to the state. Okay? It's very important to understand that you are property of the state. So what happened here is that the state makes money off of you by selling inmate. They call inmate. Inmate is basically another name for prisoner. They will sell you to a company. So the company pays the state. The company don't pay you. You are a property. It's like you are a equipment, like a shovel. The company pays the state, and they will use you to work. And it looks like this in the field. This right here. These guys are. Let me show you something like that. These people work in the field. This is a farm, right? This is a farm. The farmer, the farm is a lot of times owned by big corporations. See how this is? This one is picking up. They're picking up all kind of things, but this is a watermelon. So these people, they are rented by the company from the state. The company pays them whatever the state charge. Imagine you rent out a truck. For the truck company, when you rent out a truck, when you rent out equipment or you rent out a car, you get a daily rate. You get a daily rate. And these guys, the prisoner, the state decide how much they make. There is you don't have rights. In prison, the prisoner, they have no rights. No rights. So that means they don't have rights to wage. They don't have right to money. So the state decides how much money they make. So if you look up in any states in the United States, most of the states don't even pay them anything. Either they have two choices. Either they work, or they put in the cage. It's called segregation, meaning that even though you're already in prison, they will take you. If you refuse to go to work, they will take you to a cage, and you're gonna be there for 24 hours a day, like a dog, individual cages, and that will be your whole existence. And on top of that, the state, of course, the state wants you to go to work because they don't make money off of you sitting there in the cage. Not as much money. They still get money from the states. Remember, the DOC is paid. It's a prison. It's a place where they keep the prisoner, the prison. They get paid by amount of money that was set aside by the state to set aside money that's collected from the taxpayers. Sometimes they even get funded a budget set aside from the federal government, from the states, and so they already have money to run the prison. There's no need for use these guys, but they do. This is where a lot of money is being made. They make money from these guys working for free. So they send you and they have you working. Sometimes they will pay something like 0.20 cents an hour. But imagine the company actually pays the state $15 to $20 an hour, but the state will pocket that money, $15 to $20 an hour. Instead, what they pay this guy is the state will pay them 20 cents per hour, meaning at the end of the week, these people, the inmate or the prison makes about $4 or $5. And so what happened is there's a lot of corruptions for it's a lot of companies out there. Some of them they do many different things. Some of them make clothing. Some of them make mattress. Some of them make machines So there are a lot of needs for these guys. They need more of these people, but normally there is not enough prisoners. Sometimes this guy will be around until he die, until he gets sick, until he cannot work anymore, or until his time is finished. Because let's say this guy is sent to prison for 10 years. After 10 years, they have to find somebody else to replace him immediately. The company is losing. Normally, the company is losing money. Also, the states, the Department of Correction, DOC, is also losing money because they're not making money from the company. The company is not paying them money anymore because they don't have this guy. This guy is gonna leave in 10 years. It could be in 2 years. It could be in 1 year. Whatever. It could be dead today. And the idea is they need to have X amount of people coming in to continue producing their product and to continue making money. So there is a corruption. This is where corruption comes in. The judges have to convict, have to send more people to prison. The prosecutor have to convict more people. The police need to collect more people. So you got the police, the prosecutor, the judges. And if you're poor, the police pull you over or whatever circumstances you get, they get you in their hand, they capture you, they take you. The idea is the police are motivated, they are rewarded. In a lot of states, if you look up, there is a lot of corruptions where they're actually able to figure out that these prosecutors are being paid by the DOC, Department of Corrections. They're getting paid by the company. I'm talking about the pride, under the table money, to bring in these people, more prisoner. The more prisoner they have, is the more money they will make. So this is where normally this is not going to be a problem. The police have no problem bringing in more prisoners. They have no problem bringing in more free workers, because by the way, this apply to every prisoner in prison, in jail, because what normally happen is, at least you have money where you avoid being convicted. If you are convicted, let's say they will convict you. The judges, they're all corrupt. The judges, prosecutor, they're just there as an image of justice, fair and justice. In names only. There is no fair and just in majority of the law and order in United States. If you have a lawyer where you're willing to have your cases investigated properly, go after every witnesses, have them re-interviewed, and make sure that every contradictions, every evidence is being looked at 5-6 times, and have a competent criminal attorney that would make sure that you don't get convicted. And even if you go convicted, you can appeal all the way up to the Supreme Court. If you have those kind of resources, most people don't have those kind of resources. They would rather just give up and do their time in prison, because they don't want to burden their families. Their families don't want their family to go bankrupt. They don't want their family to lose their houses because to try to fight their sons or their daughters from going to prison. What I'm saying to you right now is this problem, this exists. Most people don't know. Most people don't care because they assume that this never happened to them. This is, for example, a fire. This is a firefighter. This is people who are sent to prison. They rented out by the state, by the local firefighter, to put down the wildfires in a while. As you can see, it says CDC, and those are a prisoner basically rented out doing a slavery work in the 21st century. So slavery does exist in the United States, but they are legal. These people have no say. If they don't do this, the amount of torture and suffering these people have to go through is unconscionable. And this is when, so basically, and so how they normally get these amount of conviction is easy to get because the prosecutors, the lawyers. Let me pull up something. So this here, this is what's going on here right now in Minneapolis, for example. They are, remember, the police department are the people who in the front line, like a foot soldiers for those kind of recruitment. They have to recruit those people. They have to get the police. They have to get enough prison. They have to arrest enough people, send them to prison for these people, for the DOC, for the Department of Correction, to use them to rent them out to the company. So it's very, very complicated. So the police, they need to somehow convince the public that there are fire and the city is on fire. There's a lot of crime going on, and then that will excuse them from going around and harassing people, arresting innocent people, and convicting innocent people, and send them to prison. And I'm pretty sure that there are incentives for the police. Money, I'm talking about money. The police gets money from the DOC. The DOC gets money from the company. Okay, because they selling people to the company, to this company. Remember? And that's it. DOT and the police and the judges, they're all corrupt. And the police, DOT, the prosecutors, the idea is to get enough people sent to prison so there is enough slave labor for the company. Just like the same thing, like having enough, if there is too many immigrants, for example, if there are too many immigrants, if there are too many immigrants, let's say too many people working for free, if too many people working for free, then the regular people cannot get a job. So this it's basically the company is getting free labor, and they get and they don't have to treat people right. They can abuse these people. They can have them work 24 hours a day. They don't have to worry about giving them breaks. They don't have to worry about getting lawsuits, because these people have no rights. And as long as they paid the states some money, the DOT, Department of Correction, gets some money, and that's it. The Department of State, Department of Correction pays the DOT. The Department of Corrections collect the money from the company, rent the people out to work. And this is also, there are no choices when it comes to, like, if you are unfortunate enough to be in the United States to get convicted of any crime, there is no, even if you may say in your mind, I'm never gonna go to prison because I'm innocent, I don't commit crimes. That may be true. It doesn't matter if you're innocent or guilty. The police in the United States a lot of times will make sure that you get convicted of crimes. In many cases, thousands, hundreds of thousands of cases where innocent people get convicted of crimes, serious crimes, of killing, of, the police will put a weapon in your vehicle, in your houses, in your pocket, and claim that was your weapon. They will put your fingerprints on it, and it is so easy for the police to get anyone and everyone that they want convicted of crime. The only thing that stands between you and being like these people you see on this picture are the decency and the resources of that you have. If you don't have enough resources, and also if you have enough juries, a lot of these juries can easily be manipulated to convict you, even though when you're innocent. And most of the times in court, all the prosecutors will make sure that any evidence that you have, any evidence that will prove you innocent, will not get to court. They make sure that anything that you have a video, if you have witnesses, sometimes they will find a way to make sure that those evidence will never get to court. They will ask the judge to make sure that evidence that you have, the evidence that will prove you innocent. Let's say let's say the police say you are robbing something. You're convicted or charged of robbery, but you have a video of where you are at the time that would prove you innocent. And the prosecutor will ask the judge that not to admit those videos to evidence, meaning that they're going to exclude those videos to make sure that those videos will never get included in the evidence for the juries to see. So now, even though you're innocent, you're innocent, you have a video that will prove you're innocent, but it doesn't matter. The video will never going to be seen by the jury. The judge knows the video existed, he doesn't care, because at the end of the day, what drives these people to convict innocent people are incentive, the money that they get from having innocent people convicted. They don't care if they're innocent, if they're guilty. The only thing that they really care about is not you having a human rights, not any kind of moral compass. They are only worried about their own career ladders. They only worry about climbing up the career ladders. They only care about making money for themselves, for their families. So be careful if you're in the United States. Things are not looking too good. Like in Minneapolis, in the United States anyway. These Black Lives Matter protests have helped a lot of people get elected to try to reduce amount of abuse, amount of killing, amount of tortures, amount of racially driven prosecution throughout the United States. What ended up happening is, like in Minneapolis right now, the police basically trying to win back the public by going on silent strike. What I mean by silent strike is they basically bullying the public, and by not responding to crimes, they will show up and come to work to collect their money, but they're not doing any work, sitting around and collecting check. And the population of 500,000 people, and people calling in for crimes. The business owners will call in for robberies, for somebody stealing their stuff. The police will make sure that there is enough crimes to try to say, look, we are important in this society, we are needed, therefore that we need more money, we need more support from the public. So when this high amount of calls coming in, the people their houses get broken in, businesses being burned down, people will call the police. That's the first thing they do. And of course they don't get any response, so they run to the local television, like these people here. They will go to local news to complain to them, and these news channel, most of them know what's going on, but they are vehicle, mouthpiece for the city of Minneapolis, for the police themselves. Because think about it, if you have any interest of the public, you will not be promoting the harms, or you will not be promoting harms to your fellow citizens. You will not be recruiting or promoting funding for the people who are running around recruiting slaves, killing people, sending innocent people to prison. And so the Minneapolis police are working to make sure they get their names back. They get back to abusing people, collecting people for prison labor. That's one thing. And also they want to maintain their amount of stealing. It's basically what it is. They say funding for the police. The police already have enough money as far as funding. The money, there's X amount of money that's allocated for the police. Now they want more money, because these people at the end of the day is like operate like a individual businesses. They want to generate money for each individual officers. So what they do, they end up creating a fake crimes to try to wave in the front of the city council, in the front of a citizen, to say, look, the only thing that stands between you and between the public and the crime is the police. That's what they're trying to portray, that we are the only thing that stands between you, your house getting burned down, and not getting burned down is us. But in reality, if you take out the amount of crimes committed by the police, by Minneapolis police, take out the amount of crimes that's committed by the police, you provoked people, they get in people's faces and then arrest people for responding to their bullying. If you eliminate the crimes that's committed by the police, And then compare the population of the police versus 500,000 people in this city. There are actually more crimes committed by the police, even though they're all the law enforcement communities in Minneapolis, they are less than 20,000. If you statistically take out the numbers of crimes committed by the law enforcement in this community, compare that numbers to the crimes that's committed by 500,000 people that live in this city, you will find that there are more crimes committed by the police. So the fact that that over 500,000 population, 20 people die every month, or robberies and assault that's taking place, it makes no difference. I mean, this is just the amount of population compared to the crime. The crime is very low, but the police trying to manipulate the crime rate by creating fake crime statistic to trying to bully the public, trying to scare the public into submission. And this is what's going on in our city. Stay tuned.